expect volatility to remain quite high in the coming quarters ahead. We have to be a bit more careful. You have to be very well diversified. In particular, we would look for specifically markets that have underperformed on year-to-date basis. So, you guys were talking about a little bit earlier, looking at Hong Kong. Hong Kong is one of the cheapest market right now here in Asia, trading roughly only about 1.1 times price to book. In particular, Asia, as a whole, does definitely look a lot more attractive. And in particular, if we do continue to see a declining U.S. dollar, that should continue to bode well because over the past 6 weeks or so, we have seen how Asian stock markets have outperformed the U.S. on the back of a weakening U.S. dollar.
So Asia, your preference right now when it comes to equities, what is not your preference?
Yeah, in particular, because the fact is that the U.S. stock market has gone up substantially, in particular NASDAQ, and on a sort of year-to-date and on a 1-2 year basis, it has gone up quite a bit. In particular, because of the fact that the U.S. dollar continues to rise, we're a bit more careful. In particular, we're a bit more careful about the U.S., especially with the growth stocks. We're seeing valuations now very similar to comparing growth versus value as to what we saw during the dot-com bubble. And then in particular, we want to be a bit more, so I would say a bit more careful in particular in some of the bond markets as well, because they have gone up quite a bit since its March low. So you do have to be a bit more selective in this market environment right now.
Ken, just out of curiosity, don't you think that the rising case count in the United States warrants a more defensive stance right now? You said the pullback in the greenback might be supportive Asia equities, but clearly if we saw cases continuing to rise in worrying states like Florida, for example, in Texas, for example, then that would really have a negative sentiment spillover for Asian stocks, wouldn't it?
It would to some extent, but the fact is that if we do see, let's say, a further weakening of the U.S. dollar, that should bode well for Asia. In particular, I think it's also very important to see during the second half of the year how quickly we see other Asian economies start to open. We saw and we see specifically right now how China has, already back to close to 2019 levels in a variety of different areas. So if most other Asian countries are in a similar position where they can start to see potentially a little bit marginal economic growth during the second half of the year, that's why, specifically, there's a better chance that we could see earnings surprising to the upside during the second half of the year for Asian corporates.